Hello. Hopefully you can hear me. Sorry about that, Leo. I'll take it by that. You get, oh, yeah, well, I did speak right into the microphone. Yeah. So, hello, Leo. Hello, Colleen. Hope you're both well. Sound now, yeah. Can you hear music? Can you hear the background music as well? It should be at a very low level. It doesn't really matter if it's there or not, but yeah, just about. Yeah, okay. Afternoon, Lone. Yeah, hang on. Let's actually actually appear on the screen. Oop, that was a bit enthusiastic. It's not very impressive, is it? Oh well. That'll do for the time being anyway. Hello everyone. Hello Samantha. We had, well, let's put it this way, I've lost 3/4 of an hour of my life. I'm never going to get back this afternoon. We've had tech issues. The Wi-Fi wasn't working, so you're now on Ethernet, which is a vast improvement. I just need to finish installing that properly. The laptop wasn't doing anything, had to restart that. Hello Achilles. Hello Dem. Yeah, so we had to restarted the Wi-Fi. That didn't do it. Ran the Ethernet, restarted the laptop. We've had to change a camera. So I was aiming to start about 2 o'clock. And apologies to anyone on YouTube who saw the notification about that. But it's been a shambles behind the scenes. But never mind, we're operating now. Apparently you can hear me. Apparently you can see me. Oop. Hello Samantha. Down a bit. While I'm doing a quick introduction, what's happening. I'm just going to see if this is working. There's an element of if I touch anything, is it all going to go wrong? Possibly not. No, wow. Yeah, sort of working. Just check that it's going through to, it's gone through to Twitch, okay. Just check it's going to come up on YouTube. YouTube's always a few seconds behind. Yeah, that's come up. Hello. Just go back onto OBS, check the sound's still working. The sound's still working. What you're looking at there's some magnolia stellar star flowers. They don't last particularly long. They'll probably be there for about a couple of weeks, something like that. Lone's gone over onto Twitch as well. Thanks for increasing the viewer figures over there, Lone. Yeah, so you've got the magnolia star flowers. I keep doing this. I keep pointing to the screen, but you can't actually see me pointing to the screen. But yeah, the white flowers are the magnolia flowers. the red-leaved plant is a plant called red robin, which I think its real name, something like Photonia or something like that. And then down on the floor below, well, if you go down below the white magnolia flowers, you can start seeing some bright green leaves on the bush directly below. That's the fuchsias, hardy fuchsias, starting to come into leaf. And then right down at the bottom, we have some polyanthus, which are the sort of yellow flowers. And if you look very carefully, there's some tulips in the background. But hopefully, if everything goes to plan, we can have a little wander up and down the bed and see what's come out there since we were last in the garden, because last time it well went pear-shaped. So I'm now going to attempt to be clever. No, wrong one. That one. And change the scene. Yep, I'll transition that over. And the sound, yep, so that looks good. So red robin plant, yeah, it's red robin plant. It's basically a shrub, hedging. It's very common in hedging. It grows very, very quickly upright. You have to keep clipping it, otherwise it'll just go up, up and up, and you want it to sort of thicken out at the bottom. And all the new leaves you get on it are always that sort of bright red colour, and that's why it's called the red robin. Just to explain, anyone who saw the stream yesterday, thanks for tuning in. It was something a bit different, which will probably fit in now and again, as and when. Afternoon, Debs. So we'll fit that in now and again when we have a blank week. Levi says hello to everyone who saw Levi yesterday. Anyone who didn't see Levi yesterday, it will remain a mystery to you. I'm unlikely to see any cats because last I looked, they were all fast asleep in the house. They tend to do most of their work in the morning and the early evening. So all I'm going to do today is just sort of a general tidy up, go through the greenhouse, show you what's been happening since we were here a week ago. I've got a few more seeds to sow. We've got a load of seedlings that I planted up during last week, which you won't have seen. And I need to create a bit of space because someone who I'm not naming has bought a load more plants online today. So we'll be able to be swamped again. Hello, Jerome. Loan's asking, is the robin common here? I assume you mean the plant rather than the bird. But yeah, red robin's pretty common. If you just do a Google search for red robin plant, you'll see it come up. But I'm trying to think how you spell its proper name. I think it's something like Phontia, something like that. But you'd probably see it as a hedging or a shrub. You wouldn't see it as, it doesn't flower. So, well, it may flower, but it doesn't really flower in the garden. So we might as well get on and show you around. We'll show you what's in the greenhouse at the moment. Those of you who've been here before, you'll recognise some of this. Anyone new to the channel, we're actually in the greenhouse at the moment. I'll just zoom up a little. Whoop. This camera's a bit keen today. There you go. Yeah, so anyone who's new in the to the live streams. I don't appear on the recorded videos, but hello to anyone who's new. I am Bear. I'm not really a bear, as you can see. Yes, that's a good thing. You can tell, can you, Theo? Theo's over on Twitch. They get channel points over on Twitch, which they can redeem for various things. And she's just redeemed to hydrate, and I do need to hydrate. As you can probably tell, my voice is a bit croaky. That's probably from all the swearing I've done in the last hour. And just to prove to you, Theo, we actually have some hydration liquid. That's good. Yep. And anyone who's trying to work out why the title, like Lone saying Monday is Sunday, is because we'd normally do this on a Sunday morning. Most garden type live streams are on a Sunday morning, starting about 11ish UK time. But we do live streams at other times. But we did a live stream yesterday. There were various things going on around yesterday, so we couldn't actually wander around and so on yesterday. So we were inside and we covered some design things of a country style garden, basically. So I'll come down a bit. That's fine, Dem. Thanks for dropping in. You come and go as you need. I think you've got bigger priorities to moderate than me. Afternoon, D. It's D Michael over on YouTube. So we'll show you what we've got here. So normally on a Sunday we do a few things. Recently we've been potting up plants, seedlings, generally sorting things out for the season. I'm just going to have a sniffle. If you hear me sniffling, it's because it's, even though it's 19.5 degrees in the greenhouse, it's a bit chilly here today. So if I move the camera across a little bit, what we've got on this shelf here is the various plants that we took out of the hanging baskets and troughs from last year, on the hope that some will survive. Most of these can probably now go and sit outside, and actually it'll create a bit of space really. I'll show you that there. So we've got lots of stuff that clearly is not going to survive, even though we gave it a chance. It doesn't cost us anything to give it a chance. Some stuff is, like there's a drain in there with, I don't know if you can actually see that on the screen. You can actually see just in there, there's a pretty rotten looking draining, but it's got new little green leaves, so we'll get a plant out of that. In fact, actually what I'll do is I'll chuck those outside for the time being. And it's just crossed my mind, it reminds me there is something else I need to do today as well. Even if we don't have time on stream, I need to do it today, whether I like it or not. Again, it's more of those. So we've been a bit more successful with that tray. I mean, this one here, at the front, this stick, it looks like a stick, is a fuchsia. We've got gazanier in there, we've got some lupins, got all sorts in there. That's a long way down. I'll leave the one in the corner, can't be bothered with that for the time being. So we'll show you what else we've got in here at the moment. Hope the keep creates room. We have a tray there, If anyone remembers this, we actually did this last weekend. These are all the cosmos seeds that we did. So you can see how many seeds have already come up on that. They're pretty good germination rate. If you remember with these ones, we just literally dumped these seeds on top of the soil and watered them in, and they've all bedded in quite nicely, so I'm pleased with that. So that can lit up there now. That's Wiggy the Acorn. The only question is, do we have to rename Wiggy the Acorn now? You have to let me know, Twitch viewers. Hello, Zach. Hope you finished your packing. Actually, Leo, that would probably be a good question for a poll, whether Wiggy the Acorn should be renamed. Either Leo or Dem could do that. I'm sure Leo would probably find it more entertaining. He should stay as Wiggy. That's your lasting legacy. Okay, right. If Wiggy the Acorn grows, it could be a lasting legacy for about, well, a few hundred years. So, but democracy shall speak. Well, we'll see anyway. Then, if anyone saw the stream yesterday, you know what we're doing in the terms of the garden. But for those who didn't, we're getting rid of as much lawn as we can because it basically dies in the summer, or is moss in the winter. And we started off down the centre of the lawn. We've put a 5 metre by 1 metre new flower bed in, and that's all the borders in, the fabric's down, and we just need a load of plants. Hence why I've been buying plants today, and we've got lots of plants in here already. So in terms of what we're going to put in there, say we're trying. The aim's always in recent times here is a sort of cottagey style garden, nice sort of flowing mix of plants, lots of colour, nothing too fancy, and if a few weeds get through, well, does it really matter? Any sign of Spike the Hedgehog? No, I haven't seen Spike the Hedgehog yet this year actually. Whether I do or not, usually you know that they're around because the security light comes on at night. But so what we have a load of grasses, different sorts. We've got some lavenders at the front in a tray. To be honest, they don't really need to be in here. We've got in this tray, we've got some geraniums nearest you. We've got some sedums in the middle and some albrecia at the back. So what we have in the greenhouse at the moment is a mixture of bedding plants and some are bedding plants and hanging basket plants and plants to go in the new flower bed. Thanks for dropping in, Dee. Good to see you. I see Leo's put the poll up on Twitch. I shall vote, but I won't say which way I voted. The only problem is if anyone looked at the poll now, there'd be no which way I voted. So I don't think that was a very secret poll, was it, when I said that? But never mind. So those are that. I've got a couple more grasses. We've got some more basket plants, including a little flower on that one. That's a hanging basket plant. Bidens or Bidens, depends whether you want to be political or not. We've got a tray of perennial plants. I tend to use a lot of perennial plants around the garden because not only do you buy them once and they last forever, and sometimes you can split them and so on. It's just a lot easier. The bedding plants and so on, I used to have a garden full of bedding plants and it took days and days and days. Oh, so the polls ended on Twitch and the result with 80% is that Wiggy's the right name, so we'll stay with Wiggy the Acorn. So, Wiggy the Acorn. So, hello Christian. So yeah, Wiggy the Acorn. I'll explain, anyone who's not been in here before, I'll explain what the hell we're talking about there in a minute. So yeah, so we've got all sorts of plants there. That's looks like a muscari, yeah. So typical, pretty typical spring plant. So that's already in flower. But lots of this stuff will go on forever. That's got flower buds on it already. What's this one? Myosotis. So we've got lots of stuff there. A lot of that stuff now is getting big enough that can go out the greenhouse now as well. The grape hyacinth, yeah, someone's just mentioning that one. It's I call it muscari. It's also known as a grape hyacinth. Anyone who's seen the YouTube channel, we've had a lot of hyacinth on the channel recently, and they're not actually. I don't think they're actually related. Hyacinths and grape hyacinths. I assume it's just they look a bit similar, but these are obviously a lot smaller. So I'm assuming that's where they got their common name from. What else have we got in here? Some of the stuff that you won't have seen. These are fuchsias. Look, I was really good. Even though I did this all on my own, I remembered to put a label on it. See? These fuchsias are trailing fuchsias, so these are for the baskets. I don't think you saw, I can't remember which ones we planted up. Oh, no, we did those, and I know we did those, but I can't remember. These are begonias. These are summer bedding plants. So these can go in the beds or baskets, troughs. So these are petunias. Lots of there again for baskets, troughs, beds. And if you've noticed throughout this that different things are planted in different containers, basically because something like that, the petunias, they'll stay in there until they get planted out. They'll grow in those all the time. Trying to remember what this one was. We've got a tray of mixed perennials. It just says perennials on it because I can't remember what they were, to be honest. We've got so many trays in here. We start getting close to running out of space. These are aquilesias. And then if we have a look at some of the stuff in the smaller trays that we sowed some time ago, these are, I won't show you them all because we've got loads of these. These are mini sunflowers. So these will grow to probably about 2-3 foot. And if anyone's actually been here before, I've mentioned seed leaves. You can actually see it on this one. If you look at this one with my thummies here, I'll hold it up to the camera even. It's got these two big leaves of what are called seed leaves, and then inside at 90 degrees, let's see if we can tip that up. So you can see inside, you can see at 90 degrees those seed leaves are what are going to be the proper plant's leaves in due course. And traditionally, if you were taking that out of this pot and putting it into another pot, into a bigger pot, you pick it up by these seed leaves because they're almost sacrificial to the plant. They'll survive without those once the plant's got its secondary leaves on. So that's a good example to show you what the difference between a seed leaf and a growing leaf is. Just seeing what else we've got. We've got some dahlias. Some are a little bit scorched because it's been in the greenhouse. It's been very warm in the sun. Afternoon, Jared. Let's just see what else we've got around here. Ageratum. See, some of these we sowed inside going back about 5-6 weeks now. But they should take off really well now. What else have we got to show you that's in here? Right. There are other things in here, but I think that's probably enough of showing off. Just check on the comments, see if there's anything that's vital to take notice of. Yeah, never knew about seed leaves. Yep. Generally, every plant's got it where they come up from the seed. They come up. The first couple of leaves is what's called a seed leaf, and that's what you you're supposed to handle when you transplant plants. If you, I don't know if you can probably see on. You take, for example, the cosmos plants there. You can see they've all got sort of 2 leaves on them, and that's what would be their seed leaves. And then, obviously, in due course, it will grow up. You should see on those really quickly, because I would imagine by next weekend they'll be probably tripled in height. They grow incredibly quick. I'm going to have another slurp of water. So thanks for everyone for being here, everyone who's in the chat and everyone who's lurking. Hello to everyone that's new to the live streams. Oh, wonderful. What is that? That is a giant wasp. Fantastic. I'm now stuck in a greenhouse streaming with a giant wasp. All right. Any suggestions what I do with a giant wasp? Apart from try to avoid to get stung by the blooming thing. Hang on, it's now in the window. I'm going to see if I can get it to go out the window. You're probably now going to have an hour of me wandering around the greenhouse trying to get rid of this blooming wasp. I do not like wasps. Go on. Now it's just having a clean. Don't ask for a wasp cam, because if anyone saw it yesterday, we had enough problems with the cat cam. Now it's coming down towards my hand. Go on. Go on. Out you go. Out you go. Go on. Oh. They're not very bright wasps, are they? And now it's just been to the toilet and it's gone. There you go. Hey, everyone celebrate. The streamer isn't going to get stung live on a live stream. Hello, Debbie. How are you? So, right. We've shown around the greenhouse a bit. Anyone who's coming in, you can actually see part of the garden top left. We'll have a wander around that in due course. God, that's a weird. Considering everything that's gone wrong on this stream, or prior to this stream starting, I'm amazed we didn't get stung by the wasp. I suspect it's one of my moderators who sent the wasp just to make the stream a bit more exciting. So, right, what I've got to do today, I've got a few packets of seeds to sow. Hello, Ophidia. Good to see you. Right, yeah, someone's just suggested on Twitch having a wasp redeem. Yeah, I don't think so. Is that a wasp to get rid of the wasp, to release the wasp? Or is that to get the streamer stung by a wasp? Yeah. But I'm very surprised it cooperated so easily. We've got a couple of things to do before I get distracted again. Right, okay. Any more talk like that, these? We have some pretty ruthless mods here who are here to protect the streamer. And for anyone on YouTube, we're just having a bit of a jokey conversation there. I've got some seeds to sow, which we can do. Or what I want to do is also pot up the bottle brush plant that we've got. So, chat. Oh, hello, Nova. Chat can decide what do you want to do first, seeds or the pot. That size. That's someone knows who that size for. You can choose on that. While you're choosing, we were talking about Wiggy the Acorn earlier. Wiggy the Acorn has got their name on their thing. It hasn't got oak on the back because it's obvious, but that Wiggy the Acorn. We take this one. This has got the plant name on the back, and then it's got the viewer's name on the front, or their code name. So anyone who's in the live stream who hasn't actually got a plant label in the garden, if you want a plant label adding to the garden, just put it in the chat that you do. I've got I don't know how many I've got left. I've got a few left, and you can have your username, your real name, a made-up name, a pet's name, anything on it. And then probably on Sunday, we've got one in the box so far. Probably on Sunday we'll have another unrigged raffle for a random plant in the garden. So you can give that some thought. But if you want your name on a plant label somewhere in the garden, feel free to put it in the chat. If I miss it, you might have to repeat it. If I miss it in the chat. Right, as no one's really bothered what we're going to start with, the bottle brush involves me getting a big pot out, a load of compost, and that sounds like it's going to be quite messy. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to sow some seeds. I'm assuming I have the right stuff down here. Yeah, sort of. I want to sow some petunias. I see Twitch is about to go into some ads, so if anyone is going into the ads, we won't make a lot of progress while you're in the ads, probably. So we've got some petunias just to sow. They're standard flower bed petunias, but we've also got some trailing petunias to do as well. So that's what I want to sow, and I shall find a suitable tray for that. In fact, what I might do is, if we've got some here, yep, we'll use these. That was interesting. I have a feeling Twitch has gone into ads, but so they won't. All I'm going to do. Hello, Sean. While I'm doing this, someone's asking any cherry blossom in your area. There's a little bit. Oh, the flowers on the shelf. You mean the white flowers that aren't really on the shelf? They're in the garden. Those are magnolia, magnolia Stella Star, or are they magnolia star Stella? I think it's Stella Star flowers, but they're magnolia flowers. We're going back to the trying to do two things at once here. What's that? Yeah, that's what I want. Going back to the cherry blossom, there's a little bit around. Once I get sorted out in here, if I can take you for a little wander around the garden, in fact you may be able to see it sort of, I shall point it out, but sort of about there on this side of the post, on the far side, sort of about there. You can see in the distance there, that's the pear tree that we've got, and all of those buds are starting to come out. And anyone who knows the channel for a long time knows that pears do very well on the channel. I can't explain why pears do well on the channel, but they get significantly more views than probably anything else on the channel each year. Oh yeah, well I won't mention it to anyone, Debs. Don't worry. No one noticed it. And to be honest, everyone's probably more interested in looking out the window than watching me fill pots with compost. So what I'm doing with these, this is for the petunia plants. If this had been earlier in the season, I would have used some of the smaller pots. And then replanted them. But what I'm going to do, these will be the trays that I'm going to sow them in, and they'll stay in these until we actually plant them out. Thanks for the shout out for Debbie. If anyone on Twitch doesn't know who Debbie CSM is, very calm, chill streams, kayaking, walking by the various lakes. This morning was doing a piano stream because it was raining. And probably if you've been on the channel here on Twitch for the live streams, you'll know that we often raid Debbie on a Sunday morning once we're finished. So yeah, we're just using these bigger trays, as I say. And yeah, they are plastic trays, but you can just, if you look after them, they'll last a few years. I have used cardboard trays and things like that, but I just find they tend to go soggy over time. So I'm just going to squidge those in. Might probably need a couple more trays actually. For your entertainment purposes now, that's how they come when you buy them new. And for your entertainment, I'm now going to attempt to get these apart. I don't know why, but whether when they make these in the factory and then they pile them up straight away, whether they're still slightly, the plastic's slightly still melted when they do it, but that wasn't too bad. But sometimes you can spend 10 minutes trying to get them out. Oh, hello, Debs, over on Twitch. You found me over there as well. Yep. Yes, we for anyone who doesn't know, we're actually dual streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Thanks for the follow, Lone. I think you get if you follow, you get a few emotes for that. The subs on Twitch get some more emotes. And also, if you're a sub on Twitch, on my channel, I've got the ad-free viewing on my channel as well. Personal choice. I'm not that. And the same on YouTube, I've got channel memberships on YouTube enabled at the lowest possible levels. You can't really choose very much on the level you charge on Twitch, but anything's appreciated. I'm not in it to make millions. Let's put it that way. It's just a way of saying thank you, really, as far as I'm concerned. As I've said before, generally on YouTube you can have a channel membership, but if you don't, you're going to get about, I don't know, probably about 98% of the channel content anyway. So going to make just 1 million, yeah, on YouTube. Sorry, on Out of It All. Well, I think other people will get to making money out of Twitch and YouTube first. Though saying that, the channel is actually making money. Well, it's not really making money. It's creating money. The only problem is it's hemorrhaging more money than it's making. So then that's what we're using for the compost. probably repeating it to people. This is a specialist seed planting compost. I pay about twice the price of a normal bag of seed compost because this is the best one I've found in years. I've said it before, a lot of these composts nowadays are just full of recycled rubbish. This one's pretty good. Hello Roy, good to see you over on YouTube. Roy Explores, anyone who doesn't know that. You'll also find him over on his channel over on Twitch as well. Does lots of fantastic streams, wandering around, events. I don't know if wandering around is the right way of putting it, but walking. He's into cycling now, in San Francisco. And if anyone doesn't know Roy, he's well worth a watch. And one of the reasons I'm doing the live streaming, the channel's been going for properly been going for about 3 years. The one reason we're doing the live streaming is there are two major people who were an inspiration originally for it. One who a lot of you will probably know, which is Gabe the Walking Commuter, and the other one was Roy Explores in San Francisco. They were the two inspirations to do some live stuff as well. But they do it they do proper IRL streaming, and just to see them do it when they get huge audiences is amazing, really. And they've both got pretty good communities as well in the chat. And that's half the thing about the live streaming. You've got the interaction of the live chat and people know each other and so on. What am I doing? Yeah, so we'll do, if I can remember, we'll do the trailing petunias first. That's what we're doing. I'm afraid not, Dem. You aren't the inspiration for my live streaming, because I was live streaming before we met online. So I'm sorry to say that. Anyone who doesn't normally get plant seeds, if you buy a packet of seeds, pretty picture on the front to sell you the packet, but what you really should be reading is all the stuff on the back. It tells you everything you need to know. It tells you this one's got the height, the size, what they're for, when to plant it, when to sow it, and it's more obvious on this packet here. It's got a colour chart of when to sow it. So if you see on there, it's got a pink section which is to sow, little green section to plant it out, and then the yellow when it's going to flower. So anyone who's never tried planting seeds, self-explanatory. But yeah, first thing, if you see loads of racks of these, find something you like the look of to begin with, and then turn over the back and see how big it's going to get, and whether it will eat you or not. Because obviously you don't want to buy a triffid. Well, I'm trying to think what the what was the plant in the Rocky Horror show? Can't remember now. It'll come back to me. So we're going to do some of the trading mix. So you just read the instructions, and if you don't read the instructions, you just lob them in and hope for the best. That's a technical term, by the way. Yeah, so this is on the surface with a light covering of vermiculite. Well, vermiculite's like a fine dust, really. Yeah, wandering around, Roy. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I was trying to think of a way to phrase it, really, because it's not really wandering around, but it's. Roy does some fantastic streams. The price of those seeds are in D. How old are the seeds? Are they in D? I don't think so. Best before 8th of 28. Yeah. So these are some of the petunia ones. I'll show you this, but I don't know whether you'll actually see it in the packet. Might be easy to come out on the hand. No, you can't really. I'll put some out on my hand. These are minute seeds. If you think of something like ground pepper, it's about that sort of consistency. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do as you do with salt and pepper. If you're seasoning something, I'm just going to sprinkle a few on the surface. I always put a few more on than you probably need, because you can always take some out. If you were really frugal, you'd put one seed per block in, but so we'll do 3 trays of that. Save the rest of the seed. It's a light little foil seed, so we can fold the top over. That'll seal it up. Hello, Atom Fighter. So that's that one. So I'll leave that there. And we'll do the other petunias. The difference between those two, if you look at the 2 packets, if you saw the pictures, you'd think there's not a lot of difference, but there are different styles. This one's more of a bedding bush type plant, and that's more of a trading plant. And there is a giant bumblebee somewhere around here as well now. Okay, it seems to have bumbled off. Welcome back, Nova. You haven't missed me being stung by anything yet. So these will be similar size seeds. Yeah, again, that sort of bits of peppers type size, very small. But actually, I think these might even be smaller. The trick of this is to remember which trays, of course, you've already sown seeds in. Anyone who was here last time saw me put seeds into trays that we'd already used. So I do that. What I'm going to do, put my gloves back on because I'm going to handle the compost. If you're handling any compost, always wear some sort of gloves, because as I say, there's all sorts of rubbish in these bags now. And even though this is good quality stuff, it's good practice to do. And even if you're just handling soil. So I'm just going to put a light dusting over the top, not doing anything more complicated than that. And then afterwards I'll put them in some trays and give them some water. I don't want to excite the stream too much by watering me trays in public. Right, so that's that. Right. What next? First in chat wins nothing, but we'll see who's the quickest on realising what I haven't done yet. See who's going to win, whether it's YouTube or Twitch is going to win. What haven't I done? And I have remembered this time. Of course, Twitch does have an advantage in these competitions because they are a few seconds ahead of YouTube. And the answer is, well, Twitch got there first, but the answer is labels, yes. Dem got there before Hercules and then before Leo. And for some reason, someone's fixated on salad. Probably doesn't mean a lot to you if you're not in the two chats. So we'll do that. We'll find some labels. Grovel around on the floor for some old used labels. Yep. I think I have a feeling on Twitch my mods are encouraging a salad conversation, and maybe just to get their own back on me. So we've got Petunia. I'm actually going to put bush Petunia for the plants. Can anyone? The problem now is, can anyone remember which one's which? Okay, so that's that one. That's that side. I think so. And then we've got Petunia trailing. Petunia trailing on that side. So we've done that. I'll just stack those up out of the way. Put that back in the packet so we don't lose it. That can go over there. I'm going to stack these up. So I'll water those in a bit. And also clear up all this extra compost. Don't want that going to waste. Debs is saying, yeah, you're watching the garden here while it's snowing in Ontario. It's not fair. Well, I've been waiting for 2 years now for some snow during the winter to do a live stream of snow. We've got a couple of little bits of snow on the channel, but this winter it's only actually literally had a dusting of snow here. We've only had 3 or 4 really heavy-ish frosts as well. It's just been wet and mild this winter here. I think we'll be overrun with slugs this year, but compared to when I was young, we used to get loads of snow in the UK every winter, but it's very rare now. So, right. Well, to stop for a sec, I know what we're going to do next. If anyone didn't hear earlier, we do plant labels for anyone new in the chat who wants a plant label in the garden, like Wiggy the Acorn, forever known as Wiggy the Acorn. You can have your username, your real name, a fictitious name, an animal's name. You can have basically anything you want on it. And then we have a random raffle that's totally not rigged now and again. Probably do that this coming weekend if we have enough in the box. And then you go out in the garden and I'll take a photo of your label against the plant. And then whenever you see videos or pictures from the garden over on YouTube throughout the year or Instagram, you may see your plant label in the background. So if anyone does want a plant label, just put it in the chat. We can arrange for that to go into the drawer. And what we'll do next, what time is it? Yeah, okay. Just give me an eye on the time. What I'm going to do is pot up the bottle brush, and then we'll pot that up, and then we can have a wander around the garden. Yeah. I'll let you Achilles, I'll let you explain to the I'll let you explain a chip butty. Now, what's he going to go in? Now the bottle brush, I don't know if I've still got the picture. This one's going to have bright pink flowers, and they literally look like bottle brushes. Can you imagine what a little bottle brush looks like? This is going to grow probably about that sort of height, but it's going to get quite chunky. This is probably going to be the centerpiece of what we're doing on the lawn at the moment. We have a giant pot. Sorry for the pigeons arriving in the background, the wood pigeons. We've got a giant pot. This is just a plastic one. So we've got a mixture of plastic and ceramic in the garden. What we're going to do, that's going to be in the centre like so. Then that'll grow up, and then around the outside you can put some stuff. I've got some primroses or primulas which can go around the side for the time being, and then when I change it over, those can be planted out in the garden, but this is going to go in here. Anyone who hasn't done a pot, make sure your pot has got some holes in the bottom. This one has. It's already got a little sluggy friend on the bottom, which we shall give him a holiday out here. Yep. So yeah, so you want some holes in the bottom. If they haven't got it, you want to make some. Otherwise they can become waterlogged. The other classic thing you'd do next is put what are called crocks in the bottom. Crocks are just basically broken bits of pots or some stones or some bits of slate. It's just to allow the bottom to drain quite easily. This one actually has a raised, if I turn that up, probably see that, has like a little raised section in the bottom, which is acting like that. Crocks are, so we don't really need to do that on there. What I am going to do, because it's plastic and this plant's going to get a bit high, even though it's going to have soil in it, it's still going to be quite light. So I'm going to use something very technical for in here. Yeah, so let's go and find something technical. I'll try not to trip myself up on the Ethernet cable. So I'm just relocating some wildlife. So, something very technical. It's an old house brick. Down the bottom. I'm just thinking whether we might need two. I think one would probably be enough. So there you go. Always into our recycling, so we're recycling house bricks now. I'm going to then chuck a load of compost in here. I've got some good compost, but what I'm going to do is I'll do this just outside the door. Hopefully you can still see that. Yeah, you can. What I'm going to use is those of you here a few weeks ago, you can remember these pots and troughs we did. Compost perfectly good. It's got a few roots. It's got some rubbish in it. The other thing to mention with that is that the compost I use for the troughs has already got water retaining gel in, which is it looks like wallpaper paste. So when it gets water, it soaks it up and retains the water. Thanks for dropping in, Loam. And then it's also got, we'll put some, not necessarily immediately, because if you give these plants too much fertiliser when they start off, they'll grow lots of green stuff and they won't get the leaves. Won't get the flowers necessarily. So we'll let that get going. So all I'm going to do is chuck a bit more compost in there, and then we'll lob the pot back in here. Oh, crumbs. That's a lot heavier now. Shut that for a sec, try to keep a bit of heating. Yeah. Put that in there. It's going to need a little bit more, I think. Yeah. What I'm going to do is, that's the compost. So I'm going to top this up. So we've used the old compost in there. Perfectly good. In fact, we might get away with another one, I think. You can actually see on that one, that's the trough from last summer. And you can see all the roots from last summer in there. But actually, if you break it apart, compost's pretty good really. I'm not too fussed by that. I'll take a couple of the big stalky bits out. Otherwise that's fine. Whether I'll be able to lift this down afterwards is a different matter. I'll just try that. Yeah, that's about right. I want it just below the edge of the trough. Okay, off. So, a nice looking plant there. You can see on this one, it's already got roots coming out the bottom, which would tell me that it's pretty pot bound already. Pot bound just means it's filled its pot. It's struggling for space. And we'll soon see. Usually you can sort of tap it out. But that is pretty solid in there. Is that clean? Yep, I think so. Sorry for the sniffle. Yeah, that's out its pot. And what I mean by pot bound, scouting, is that you can see all these roots all around the edge of the pot. That is really pot bound, to be honest. That should really be potted up really by the nursery some time ago. It's not so bad on this side. It's really bad on that side. Now, you could just put that in there, but another technical term, I don't know if it's really technical, is they call it teasing out the roots, which basically means just, hang on, I'll do some ASMR for you. Don't know whether you can actually hear that, but basically we're just teasing out as many of the roots as possible. You can sometimes use a blade or something to tease them out, but generally you can use your hands, and it just encourages the roots to, instead of going round and round the pot, which these have started to do, just to start getting some of them coming out sideways. You can see something like that. This is very pot bound actually. That's about as much as I think I'm going to be able to do on that one. So we'll chuck it in the top. Check that it's below the level of the pot. Thanks for coming in, Dem. See you tomorrow. Hello, Victoria. Yeah, Gerard. Yeah, that's you shouldn't. If you've got a plant like that, it shouldn't be like that. Really, it should have gone into a bigger pot some time ago. I'm not saying if you go in a garden centre you should knock all the pots off to see what the root system is, but generally, if you pick up a pot and you can see roots coming out the holes in the bottom of the pot. That's a good indication it's pot bound. But hey ho. So we're going to put that in there. I'm just going to fill it in around the outside. I am going to use the good compost that I've got. This is the same manufacturer compost. There are going to be some ads on Twitch in a moment. So anyone who's on Twitch, I'm just going to be putting soil around here, so you won't miss anything if you go into the ads. It is turning into an ASMR stream with plastic bags. So I'm just going to fill it in. I don't know if that's any different from that. Anyone who's still watching, that hand has got this composting that we're using now, and the other hand, this one, has got seed composting. And you can see there's a difference if you just press it down. The seed compost is much more fluffy and airy, and the long-term compost is much more soil-like. Don't really have to chuck all that in anyway. So I'm just going to fill this in. And the reason I'm putting decent compost in the top is because we're going to put other plants in the short term around the outside while this grows, because this will grow that sort of height. I think this ads, yeah, the ads have just started on Twitch, so I'll just carry on with the soil. And I'll talk to anyone who still can hear me. I know YouTube probably can. Beautiful planter. Well, apart from it's now covered in mud. It's just a plastic planter. I actually went looking for ceramic planters, but the plastic ones are about half the price and perfectly okay. Even though I've now got muddy fingerprints all over it, it'll soon wash off in the first rain. But yeah, so I'm putting proper compost around the outside because I'll say we're going to put some plants probably this summer and probably next year around the outside, and it's just better to give that. There's down the bottom where their roots won't go, it doesn't really matter, and it's only the roots of the bottle brush that will get down into the previously used compost. Nearly there. By the time Twitch come back, they from their ads, they should be. Thanks for the follow over on Twitch. Looks like people are coming back from the ads now. So just pouring a couple more handfuls. Pretty much there. Yeah. Yeah. Fine. Yeah, okay, that'll probably do. And I've probably got as much compost on the floor of the greenhouse as I have in the pot. Question is, can I lift that now? Yeah, just about. That will slide off, I think. What I might do is, before I put anything else in it, just slide it off. If it all goes wrong here, it's nice knowing everyone anyway. put that, no, this could go out. Bensy knees. Yep. Right, there you go. That was exciting, wasn't it? Then into the edges of this one, I've got some primroses rescued from the garden centre for £2. Again, when you pull it out, you can see that one's roots are starting to get close to the bottom. So all I'm going to do is put them in round the edge. And all they're really there to do this year is put a bit of colour in it and also fill around the edges. That's all it's there to do this year. Something like these, when you don't need them anymore, I can dig them up and replant them in the garden because these are perennial. These will flower year after year. Put that one in there. Do that one in there. Keep checking the chat. Yeah, purple and yellow. Primroses. There's also part of the Primula family. There's also polyanthus, which is part of the Primula family. The difference is primroses flowers are quite close to the base, where the polyanthus tend to be higher. They have a longer stalk on their flower. So and then I'll probably put the other two in. Well, actually, I might put one in and then use the other one somewhere else. Firm it down with my hands. And then that will need a good watering. And what I've done there is I've put in the extra one on the front. I'll put 4 corners in, and I've put one in there as well, because then that can become the front. And when you look at it from the house, you're going to see a bank of colour there. What's the point of putting it in the back if you're not going to see it from the house unless you walk around the back of the pot? Plus there's plenty of space to put something else in. It's not as if we haven't got enough in the greenhouse to do that. So that will just need watering. We've got the plant label already. Put that in as well so you know who that's dedicated to. So that's done. We've only got another, sorry for the phone bleeping there, thought it was off. I think we've got about another 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got another 6 of the new pots to do over the coming weeks. We've also got 5, 6, we've got to have 7, sorry no, we've got 6 troughs to do as well. And we've got 4, 5, 6 hanging baskets and 2 wall baskets. So we've got a lot of plants to and troughs to sort of fit out over the coming weeks. A lot of them are going to be summer bedding plants, which probably won't get potted up. Usually I'll try to do it sort of towards the end of April, last couple of weeks of April, and then they would get hung up for sort of mid-May, hopefully, when there's no frost. But we haven't had any frost virtual winter, so all good. Just see if there's anything. I'll probably miss stuff in the chats. Apologise if I miss anything. Victoria's saying there, rescue plants save money. Yeah, the first place I always go to in the garden centre is the reduced section, and generally quite a lot. Often it's just plants that just need a bit of tender care, a bit of watering and so on, and they put right up. And those primroses, I think on the shelf they're about £7 or £8 for a tray, and it was reduced to £2, and all it needed was watering. That was it. So thanks very much for that scouting. I take it, I think that's probably enough in the greenhouse for today. We take it people would like to have a quick wander around the garden, see what's coming into the spring season. Well, we're well into the spring season here. If you just put in the chat that you'd want us to go around the garden. Thanks, Roy, for popping in. We'll have a wander around the garden. Well, people are letting me know that they want me to do that. Yeah, Roy's saying, yeah, wander. It won't take long, Roy. It's nothing like your streams. So you don't have to get your cup of tea ready or cup of coffee ready. Just before we go out, next live stream, proper live stream, will be next Sunday. It's his usual time, about 11ish in the morning. We'll be back in the greenhouse or doing something. I don't know. I don't know what the forecast. Forecast's a bit mixed for the rest of the week. YouTube content. We've got the usual lunchtime, shorter. Well, I hope they're not really shorts, but sort of 3-minute videos. Tuesday, Thursday lunchtime. For Saturday morning, we've got the normal calming type video first thing, and then the premiere is in the evening. The evening stream on Saturday, the premiere, is a review of the month. It's basically, I finished making it last night, so that's ready to be uploaded, and that's a compilation of everything that's been on the channel this month. And thanks, scouting. Right, we'll go for a wander. What I'm going to do, this camera here is the GGI camera, but I'm going to leave that one here, and I'm going to go down and get the one that's looking at the magnolias. Don't ask me what brand it is, but it's an action type camera. It's not an action camera. I'm just going to close the greenhouse picture down for a moment, and I'll expand the garden camera up. Now, last time we did this, we lost signal. We'll transition that over. Yep. Now, hopefully, that should be the garden. Yep. Right, we're going to go for a quick wander. Bear in mind, I can't see your comments while I'm doing that, so feel free to chat to each other, discuss how brilliant everyone is. I'm going to put, you may hear a bit of feedback, I'm just going to put the live stream on my phone, so at least then I've got an idea of what I'm looking at, even though I can't actually read the chat. Or I can hear myself talking there. I've gone now. This is where you can have you can probably have a guess in a minute. Hello, Ali. Good to see you. Yeah. Oh, I forgot what I was saying then. I was distracted by one of my mods. So yeah, so I can at least see now what I'm looking at, even if it is slightly delayed. So we're going to have a little wander back. Wander around. I was about to wave to you as I was going to the greenhouse, but you can't actually see that at the moment, can you? But you'll see me appear in the distance. It won't happen very quickly, because obviously bears don't walk very quickly. Hopefully, before I go out, hopefully the mic will still pick up at that distance, because the camera's in here. I'm hoping it will. It should do. But if you lose the audio, it should come back as we come back in. So here we go. Let's see. We'll put the right. I've actually got the Twitch stream up, because that's slightly ahead of the YouTube stream, and I've actually got I can see the Twitch chat at the moment. So if you lose audio, let me know in the Twitch chat. Come down. So yeah, so we've got, this is Magnolia, the Stellar Star. And I'm just going to take you off the tripod. So apologies if it gets a little bit shaky. So there you go, that's the Magnolia. Sorry, my finger's in the way there. Yeah. Just going to swap hands over. I think it's easy with my natural hand. Yeah. So that's the Magnolia. We were talking about red robin leaves. That's red robin leaves. We move up here a little bit. This is a hardy fuchsia coming out. This is hardy fuchsia Genie. So you can see the new leaves coming out. That's a fuchsia that can stay out all winter and survive here. And that's a different fuchsia. This is Lady Boothby. Then we come down here, we've got things like lavender. We've got some Crocus simia, which is out very early this year. Some polyanthus. We're just doing primroses, but with the polyanthus, you can probably see on there they've got much longer flower stalks than the primroses have. Don't know if we can get down there. Yeah, so you can see it's got a much longer flower stalk. That's how you can do it. We've got some mint. Moral of the story is don't plant mint in your garden, because it grows everywhere afterwards. That was from a previous occupier. We'll go along. I'll try not to disconnect you. We've got down there's a camellia flower. In fact, if you hold on, I'll see if I can prop that up a little bit for you, so you can actually see what that looks like. So it doesn't want to play the game really. Well, sort of. Yeah, it's camellia. We've got some tulips. The tulips are interesting because they actually open up during the day when there's sunlight, and then they close up at night. So you can't actually see into them at the moment. If it was a sunny day, you would do. We've got, we'll come back to that in a second. I'll just, while we're here, anyway, we were talking about this flower bed we're doing. This is the, if you ignore the cable, this is what we're doing. So it's got a fabric underlay. It's got the reused tar edges, and it's very similar to what we've got over there. And then these grass walkways will eventually be stoned up. They'll have a fabric underneath and then stoned. I'll wait for this noisy plane to go over. Yeah. I'll show you there some sedums. Lots of different types of sedum. They're an alpine plant really, but they seem to do reasonably well here. We've got Albrecia. Thanks for the follow. Albrecia. This is a sort of trailing plant. Never had what would be an alpine plant. Move along. Do my best not to trample on you. This is viburnum. This is a new plant we put in the autumn. Previously, this gap in the hedge line here had a viburnum that been, wow, as long as I've been here, it must have been longer. It was about 10 foot tall and about 6-7 foot wide. What else do we have? We have foxgloves. We've got some lots of plant labels. This is a dianthus. Common name for that is pinks. Come along a bit further, we've got some more polyanthus. So we've had a lot of stuff come out already. We're down to there. I'm just going to bring you through here. So we've got to here pot, sort of an evergreen planting. Then we've got a pink hyacinth with a fuchsia in the front that's all sort of budding up. This here's forget-me-nots that are growing in the paving. Forget-me-nots, once you've got them, they'll grow everywhere. We've got some daffodils that are sort of going over there. I'm just going to... You're getting a bit sort of tangled up. Okay. They were talking about, I think someone was asking about cherry blossom earlier. This is the pear tree. And you can actually see on that, the buds are starting to appear on that. That one's a bit more developed there. Yeah, so you can actually see on there that the buds are starting to open up. Probably, unless we get some bad weather, some cold weather, basically I'd expect those to be flowering in the next 4 to 5 days. You'll see that on the YouTube channel, or we'll try to cover it here on the lives. We've got in the back there another shrubby type plant, which is a forsythia. Lots of the yellow flowers. Not to be confused with jasmine. Sorry, that's my phone again. We come down here. So there's 3 different hyacinths there. If I can get the cable out of the way for you. So there's the blue, the purple, pink hyacinths. And they create a really strong smell. Some more daffodils. These daffodils are starting to go over. A whole patch of grape hyacinths, the muscari like we saw in the greenhouse earlier. Then we come over to here. So mixed in amongst this, we've got some roses. Then this sort of tree thing here, which I think the technical term would be a spalliade. Basically means flat, would be a flat against a fence type thing. This is a duo apple tree, meaning it's got one rootstock down there. I'm going down there. If you can see that, it's got one set of roots, and then it's got 2 top parts which have been grafted, which basically means grown onto the rootstock. And we've got 2 different apples on the one rootstock there. We've got Braeburn and Bramley apples. And you can see this on this apple tree here. You can see there are buds coming out on this as well now. So that's coming along. Well, I'll just bring you back over here. Sorry if anyone's feeling a bit seasick. Oh. Then we've got a collection of generalised stuff we've dumped out of the greenhouse. This is the pot we've just done. So you can see what I've done by putting an extra one in the front, because if you're looking on the front, you can't see around the back anyway. That's the view you'd be looking at from out the house. So you can put stuff in around the back if you've got it, but until we know what plants we've got, wait and see. There's a buddleia tree there, buddleia bush, butterfly bush. Across here, this is a olive tree. Yeah, and we do get not very many olives off it. We get some small, tiny olives on there. We've got a much bigger olive tree in the veg patch. We can come to that later in the year. Above the greenhouse, we've got this pergola type thing, which is actually got a grapevine on the top. And yeah, we do get grapes on there. I'm just going to plonk you back into there so you can look at those. And I'll come back in the safety of the greenhouse. Yeah, cricket dude. Yeah, that's a garden gnome. There's quite a few garden gnomes around the garden. Controversial item is a garden gnome. Hopefully you heard the description. I'm just going to go through the chat to see if I've missed anything. Let's have a look. Hello, Liz. There was a follow there, which was there's. Oh, thanks for the bit. I assume you donate. Yes, a bit. Well, you get a bit badge. Yeah. Well, you get a. If you notice by your. In fact, actually on there, Liz, next to your name in the chat, if you're still here, you've got a what looks like a diamond. That's because you're a VIP on the channel. Doesn't include free drinks, by the way, and we don't stock Prosecco. But the bit badge is, you can see next to the little diamondy pink diamond, you've got a number 2, which means you're presently the second person who's given most bits in the Twitch chat. Just shows to the streamer that you've actually done something for the stream. Yeah, gnomes, yeah, you don't know when they're going to come alive. I think most of mine are fairly tame. I'm just going to go through the YouTube chats as well. So I don't think the last time we had a wander around like that was probably a couple of weeks ago. So it does change. It's changing quite quickly now. Yeah, mint growing everywhere. Where you think it may be perfect, Roy. It's a pain. It is. If anyone wants to grow mint, grow it in a pot. That's all I would say. And don't let it flower. It'll set seed because it'll go everywhere. Yeah, gardens planted similar to Southern California. Yeah, I think the only difference would be, I would guess, that California gets much hotter summers, but you'd have pretty mild winters. And we get the mild winters, we get occasional sunny days. Thanks, Gerard. Bottle brush is a bee magnet. Yeah, well, that bottle brush is, because you've seen it's going to be in that pot, and where it goes to the end of the path, end of that new bed, there's going to be a circular path, which we'll do on a stream one day. Oh, thanks very much, Roy, for that. Roy over on YouTube's just gifted 5 gift memberships, so welcome to the new members there. If you want to know what your membership entitles you to, you should see a members video that explains exactly what you get. It's not a huge amount. You get some emotes and a few bits and pieces, but it's on the channel we've got the memberships at the lowest possible levels, because as I said earlier, we're not out to become rich from this. I think this would be quite, if this was a supermarket, this channel would be pretty much a lost leader. In fact, it would have probably gone bankrupt. But never mind. But thanks very much for that, Roy. That's very generous of you. Welcome to Blueberry Lane Shop, XM Marie, Angela R, Ryan, Jim Barrows. So there's a few names you recognise on there. Thanks Booper Pops. Thanks for coming in, saying hello. What I'll do is I'm just going to tweak the bottle brush tag and the primroses back a bit, if I can manage that. And we'll transition that to back in the greenhouse. I'll just move that up slightly. If I'd thought about that, I could have done that before. You can tell we're not a professional streamer. I don't think any day I'm going to be doing IRL, so I think you're fairly safe, Roy. So for anyone who has not seen me before, hello, I'm Bear. Bear is not my real name, by the way. That is the channel's mascot. We've got multiple bears around. Those are bears. And if you read the description as to why the channel's called Bear in the Garden, it all relates to where I originate from. This is in Yorkshire, which is northern England. If anyone looks at a map for York, that's probably the nearest place to here. But for anyone who lives in the northern England can probably tell, I haven't got a Yorkshire accent. I've got a Midlands accent from Warwickshire, and the emblem of Warwickshire is a bear and ragged staff, which basically means it's a bear which was chained to a ragged staff, and the staff is just a post. I think it was entertainment in the bygone ages, but that's where bear comes from. So that's the reasoning for that. But everyone seems to be knowing me as bear now. Thanks for the super sticker, Ali. Ali, that's very generous of you. I'm doing great, thanks, Roy. Well, we've been doing the live streams now. We started on YouTube, probably getting close to a year now, but we've been doing Twitch since the autumn. And we do a mix. Anyone who's new, we do a mix of this sort of live wander around, something in the greenhouse, whatever, in the garden, or we do sort of more scenic ones where we look at the sky, sunsets, or events like fireworks and things like that from here. But generally it's all based around what happens in the garden, what you see in the garden. Anyone on Twitch, we're mainly a YouTube, or originally a YouTube channel, but the live streams are both on YouTube and Twitch. So take your pick as to where you want to be and where you want to watch it. You see the same stream on both. I can see both chats, so feel free to put in there. Both communities are pretty good here. I think a lot of people already know each other from other places. Some of you probably also, apart from knowing me in the chats, will probably know me from moderating other channels as well. You tend to see me floating around quite a bit from time to time. I do have my favourite channels, considering several of those are actually in the chats at the moment. I'm not going to say who are my favourites. It'd be like asking which is my favourite cat, and that would be unfair. But anyone who saw the stream yesterday will probably guess which is my favourite cat. So I think probably I don't know what else I can really show you in here. For anyone that's come in recently, we're actually in the greenhouse at the moment. The greenhouse is jam-packed full of plants in pots that we've potted up over recent weeks. We've been sowing seeds, etc. We probably will have, by the time we're finished, usually we'd have about probably close to 800 or 900 pots and seeds ready to go out. So we have an awful lot of stuff really, because we do a whole load of baskets, troughs, sort of the annual type bedding plants you would see, but then we've got lots of perennial plants. As I say, we're getting rid of the grass because basically it's impossible to grow here. It's either dead in the summer because of the droughts we've been having, or it's just basically moss over the winter with the mild wet winters we get, and I've had enough of it. So I think that's about it for here. Has anyone got any questions in the chats? See if anyone's got any good questions. Well, I'm waiting to see if anyone's got anything to ask. In terms of content for this week, the next live stream will be on Sunday as its usual 11ish start time, unless we have tech problems like we've had today, where we might be a little bit late. Apologies for that earlier. So live stream both YouTube, Twitch on Sunday. The daily postings on Instagram, Facebook, Discord. Well, thanks very much for that, Nova. It's very generous again. God, there's about to be an ad break on Twitch, so we'll let that run through. That's very generous, Nova, for that. I say, you don't have to do, if you feel duty bound to do that, don't feel you have to really, because the reason for starting the channel was basically to, well, the real reason is that to do the chats you need to have a channel name really. So that's how the channel started, and then I just filmed something one day. I can't even remember what the first I think the first ever video on the channel might have been some snow, so long ago, but it's only been really a proper channel for 2.5, 3 years now. But we're fully monetized both here and on Twitch, so we make a little bit off the ad revenue. But to say, certainly for if anyone sees me doing gifts on other channels and so on, if you gift to me, that money will go into something for the garden. Any gifts, it's not as if you pay in and then it's going out to someone else. So like for Nova's donated $5 there. If you see me do a gift membership for someone else, I'd have been doing that anyway out of my own money. So, but that will go back into the garden bank account, because the garden's got its own, the channel's got its own account. So everything goes into there, so it's separate from the personal accounts. Because hopefully we can get, if we ever make any real money on that, we can use it for expenses and so on. So don't think I'm paying, when you next see me do a donation or gift membership over, it's not your $5 going out, it's going into the channel. Twitch has just gone into their 2-minute ad break, so we'll go through that. For YouTube viewers and for anyone over on Twitch that can still hear us, because I know some people have the subs over on Twitch, which give them the ad-free viewing. YouTube viewers, we've got the normal shorts out, usual time every day. Don't ask me what they were, because I can't remember. There's a lunchtime video out tomorrow, and there's a lunchtime video out on Thursday, which are the 3-minute lunchtime videos. Saturday we've got the calming video first thing in the morning, and then the premiere of Saturday night is the March review. So that's got everything in the garden that March, so you'll see some of the stuff that's been on YouTube or on Instagram for that, but you'll see lots of stuff you won't have seen or will be coming up in the next week or so. Loan's back into there. They've got, Twitch have got, according to my system, 45 seconds left. I know some of them don't see all 45 seconds of don't see all the ads. If I'd noticed that coming up early, I would have paused the ad break on that, but that was too slow. So all I've got left to do now is just basically, well, I'll wait the 20 seconds, and then Twitch can actually hear me as well, won't they? Which would make a lot of sense. Yeah, so the ad break should be over now. Yeah, so someone's saying, this saying over there, that it's a busy season for gardeners. Yep, certainly is. It's probably the busiest part of the year, really, because once you've got everything sown and then planted out, you can sit back and relax a bit. It's not quite true, that. So yeah, as I was saying, so there's plenty of content on YouTube this week. There's content everywhere else. The lives will be Sunday, usual time. If anyone's got any other questions, while I'm trying to find someone to raid to on Twitch, feel free in the chat to, usually for anyone who's new, but anyone who's been here before, we usually play on a Sunday lunch. Try to guess what I'm having for my Sunday lunch. But feel free to have a guess what we're having for my evening tea. And it's not like tea time tea. It's tea here is your evening meal, which I'll have once I've tidied up. So all I've got to do is tidy up all the cabling and everything, put stuff away, and then I've got to water the plants, the seeds we've done earlier, water the trough. And I'm surprised no cats come out looking for its tea. But I'm sure if I go anywhere near the house, they'll suddenly make an appearance. So yeah, so feel free to in the chat to have a guess what my evening tea is. Okay, I've got an idea where we might go. So what I'll do is I'll change channel on that. Leo, that's a very boring guess. But I have to say I'm a bit disappointed because the first person, a beef roast. Ah, that's Crosby. Yeah. Well, I've got two things in the fridge that need eating. I've got some fish. Yeah, well, you were right, Leo. That was the first thing I was going for. I have got some fish, or I have actually got sort of a beef hash type thing, but it depends what everyone else wants. But the other residents of the house don't eat what I eat generally. So, but we'll see whatever guesses people had. But it'll be one of those two things: a pie of some kind, cottage pie. Yeah, corned beef hash. I don't know if it's corned beef hash or whether it's just lumps of beef. Don't know. But my guessing shepherd's pie. No, my guessing it's going to be the fish, because I remember it was in the freezer, so it's probably defrosted. So that's probably got to be eaten tonight. And the cats won't mind if I'm having some fish, because they quite like fish as well. And if they're well behaved, they might have a little bit. Do I grow my own vegetables? Is a question from Liz. A little bit. I'm not a huge veg eater, but we do. The greenhouse this year will have things like chilies, cucumber, tomatoes in. They're all growing inside the house at the moment on the windowsill inside the house. Outside we've got some onions in. We've got some red onions in at the moment, but we'll have. We've done things like pumpkins before, squashes, courgettes, climbing beans, French beans. I tend to grow the stuff that I'm actually going to eat, and better fresh. Yeah, that's right, Ali. I'm a well, I'm not really. I don't know whether you class me as a carnivore, but basically, probably about 90% of what I eat is fish. That's the main thing for me house. Main thing for my appetite or stomach is fish. So you can tell. Peppers are easy to grow. Yeah, they're fairly easy to grow. Yeah. The problem you have with peppers in this country is that we don't necessarily get the heat to turn the colours on them. So you get lots of green peppers, but it's quite difficult to get them to turn to the orange and then onto the reds. So I'll say a few thank yous. Once I've said my thank yous, I'll run the video for the plant labels. So anyone who's got a plant label in the garden can see their plant label, hopefully. And while that's going on in the background, I'll instigate a raid out on Twitch for the Twitch viewers. I'll say thank you to a few people I can see in the chat and anyone I can remember. Thanks Archiles, Leo. Thanks for modding, Leo. Thanks to Dem, who was earlier for modding as well. Thanks Liz for being here, scouting. Atom Fighter was here, I know. We had some new follows as well. Can't really go back. Thanks you to anyone I've missed on Twitch. It's a bit easier on YouTube to go back to see who's been there. Thanks Ali. Thanks Christian. Thanks to Debs, Gerard, Roy. Thanks to Colleen, Christian. That's Christian Hansen. I didn't see you earlier, Christian. Thanks for coming in. Almost said thanks to Stream Elements. Thanks Victoria, Sean, D. Michael was here, Jerome was here, Liz was over there. If I've missed anyone, I apologise. Now I'm stuck on that, so I can't see what the chats are saying. Thanks to those who've given bits over on Twitch, those subscribers over on Twitch, it's appreciated. Thanks to the new follows on Twitch. Thanks to Roy for the gifted memberships, that's very much appreciated. Thanks to Nova and Ali for the donations over there, that's again very generous. Hello Samantha. Oh, Samantha was here earlier as well. Oh, Roy's come over onto Twitch as well. Hello Roy over on Twitch. We're in multiple places. So thank you for everyone. Thank you for being here. We'll be back live on Sunday. If you're really missing the channel that much, we're all over the place, all in the good and bad places on the social media. So we're on Discord, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Threads, we're on Blue Sky, and we post in the YouTube posts as well. I'm just going to pull up the plant labels for you, so you can watch that and see if you're in the plant labels. I'll say thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for the mods. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the members. Thanks for the subscribers. Thanks for the followers. Basically, thanks everyone. I shall say thanks everyone. We'll see you on live back on Sunday. I'll put I'll put the plant labels on, and Twitch I'll find the person we're going to raid out to. Say hello when we go out on the raid. You'll probably recognise someone we know, but you never know. Thanks for your time, everyone.